So this picks up right where we left off with the electron configurations. Now you're doing what's called drawing the Bohr model, which the Bohr model of the atom from the timeline has these like orbits around the nucleus, almost just like rings around it. So we have to figure out with our nucleus here, how many orbits go outside the nucleus, so how many rings do we draw, and the number of dots or electrons that go on each orbit. You can find that from our electron configuration summary up here, which the other video shows you how to get. So once you have this, we have these big tall numbers, and then you have the tiny numbers. Your biggest big tall number is how many orbits you're going to draw around your nucleus. So I have a big tall 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So my biggest big tall number is 3. So I'm going to draw 3 orbits around my nucleus. And though they don't look nice, they work. So that's how many orbits we draw. To figure out how many dots per orbit or electrons, that comes down to these tiny numbers. So I'm going to split my whole configuration by the big numbers. So my big tall number 1 and then what's attached to it goes here, and that's my first orbit. My big tall number 2 goes here. Now I have 2 big tall 2s, so they all go together, and that's my second orbit. And then my big tall number 3s stay together for my third orbit. The tiny numbers within each section are how many dots are going to go on that orbit. So my first section, I have a 2, which means my first orbit gets 2 dots. 1, 2. My second orbit has a 2 and a 6. That equals 8 together. So my second orbit getting 8 dots. I just don't feel like coloring those in. That's okay. And then third, I've got a 2 and a 4. So 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So your number of orbits and number of dots can all come from that part up there.